Well, you remember this horse that just showed up a while back? I think it's finally time we start doing something about it. So we're gonna get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, Ross the Oliver Man. It's been crazy weather. We've went through freezing, we've went through torrential raining, and finally the sun is back out. However, it's kind of windy and not exactly warm, but it's warm enough that we can, you know, I'm trying to get everything done, and I have no time. But when we brought this home and kind of assessed it in the last video, I immediately went and ordered some parts so that we could maybe get started on a few things on it, because it needs to be a little bit better than what it is, even to use it. So I kind of experimented with jacking this cab up to see how high it would have to be in order to fix this bad floor problem we've got. And essentially, this is a little higher than it would be when it's finished. But what I was thinking was, we're going to cut this out, this junk remnants of floor. Like, I think I'll just pick a place next to one of those ribs and slice it all the way back to there, and then even that up. And I'll cut a piece that will slide underneath what's left back there, but over top of this, which is the brace that's attached to the frame of the tractor. And then hopefully I can weld it along there or something, make it stiff enough where it's going to actually be able to support like the front half of the cab, because the weight of the cab should be on the floor panel, which should be anchored to this, which should be attached to that, which isn't anymore, because the only thing holding this together is imagination. See, the fenders are not the greatest, but just a little bit of looking on the internet, I don't think I'm going to find a 780 Fiat in a parts yard that's going to be better than this or affordable to ship stuff back. So we're going to unfortunately have to just do some body work and try to cut out and do whatever. The nice thing is this thing is very boxy, so a lot of it is just square flat pieces, which is going to be easier to work with. But I'm more than just looks. I'm not really worried about looks right now as much as I am functionality. You see, I want it to be able to function, and part of the function is it has to have a floor that I can ride in without feeling like I'm going to fly all over the place. It really needs to have a seat that you can actually ride, because this one you cannot. This is just sitting on there. So we'll investigate that at some point. That's not a big priority. I ordered a muffler the other day because this is broke off and it's been welded before. Somebody tried to weld it. I don't think they understood how this really works, because you look at it and you say, oh, it's bent because it's leaning forward. Well, guess what? That's the way it was made since new. They were made with this whole outfit leaning front ways. And then anyway, the new muffler is in the mail, and it comes with both pieces, a new muffler and then a pipe that has a curve on it, so you don't have to worry about having a ting-ting to keep the rain out and whatnot. But one of the things that broke my brain right away seeing this tractor was this situation here. That is not a Fiat wheel, and it doesn't even fit good on there the way I see they have it bolted. And this is an original wheel, and I was really super duper wanting to match that, because that is just the way they were, just flat. But it's because people, I know ultimately people always want to help and they give suggestions, but they don't know what they're talking about. And then it's like, I've already been down this road, I know what I'm talking about. I can get reproduction wheels for like a 1365 and whatever size, easy, 16-inch. The 18-inch one is not made this way. So unfortunately, getting one rim to match this was not going to happen in a reasonable price. I mean, maybe I could have looked around and had one shipped here, but do I do that or not? Plus the fact that I have no spares for this, like an 18-inch rim. So the plan I concocted in my brain was, you see how this tire's junk, and this tire is almost new, but it's on the wrong rim. It is a BKT tire. I decided I would just go ahead and buy some stuff, and I'll show you that, and I'll show you what our plan's gonna be. So over here, where the male people dumped it in the rain and the box disintegrated, over here are two brand new 18-inch Fiat rims. You see how nice they look? And the cool thing that life finally threw us one at is they're actually painted metallic silver right away. So I'm just gonna mount the tires and put them right on. That one's a little scuffed, but it's not worth repainting at this point. It's a tractor to use. So I also then, when I ordered those rims and saw that I could get that and was gonna do it, I asked my friend who sold tires, I said, hey, do you think you could get me a mate to a BKT 18-inch tri-rib tire? And he looked around and he found one. So we are going to put the brand new tire on one rim, then we're going to take that good tire off that other rim and put it on the other new rim. Then we will have a pair with almost excellent tires all the way around the tractor then. And the other rim, that's the original rim, we will set aside as a spare, because sometimes it's handy to have a spare for little tires, because it might go flat and you can throw it on and go. You know, if it goes flat going down the road, it'd be handy to just stop, put on a new tire, go. So that's my plan, and I thought I would start filming it now because it's getting towards evening and I don't know what I'm gonna get done on camera. So if I feel like the sun goes down and I can't film anymore, I'm gonna go ahead and mount some tires or something, and I will bring you back when we're ready to put them on the tractor tomorrow or whatever. Maybe I won't even get that far. I got some other stuff I want to do first, but I thought, hey, we'll start filming this video so you can see the plan that's about to unfold, and then hopefully we can get that thing where it is. I would like it to be roadworthy in a way, you know. I'd like to be able to get on it and take it out, whatever I would have to do, you know, without fear of not being able to return. So that is the ultimate plan here. We'll start with these tires because that's what showed up. I hope that muffler and other little piddly things I ordered shows up soon. I also ordered some other stuff like shut-off cable and stuff. We want to make that right the way it's supposed to be. And steps, we need to get steps lined out on it because we don't have that correctly or at all anymore, you know. But the first thing to do then is floor of cab, so we have something to mount steps to. But that's the progression we're going to follow. And I realized while I'm talking that I got a notification that something I ordered was delivered and I don't see it around here. So I'm going to have to look around and make sure that they didn't dump it in the wrong place, which happens, because otherwise what am I going to do? So yeah, that's where we are. All right, friends, it's the next day. I got my jammas here, but life decided to throw us more curveballs last night. I was going to have this tire mounted, and I realized it's got the bigger hole in here, and I need one of these bushings, which of course I could not find for anything, even though I know I had just ordered a pack. So I looked around for a while and finally just gave up and thought whatever, and then looked around and I found them today. So I knew I actually bought a second box of those because I put those away one time and forgot where they were, and then ordered these. So somewhere out there should be another 100 of these, but that's how life works, you know. You don't find them till you order some more. So anywho's, we should be ready to put the tube in now. And the tire's been toasty in the sun, so that means it should be very pliable. So maybe it was a good thing that I didn't get it yesterday because it was a lot colder when we were working on this yesterday, and stuff would not be as easy to go. Let me get that tool to hold this. Well, come on now, play ball. Play ball with us. I should go get that tractor and drive it down here instead of running back and forth. I'll probably do that. Ouch. Get in there. Get in there. I think we're gonna get it. Oh my. What did I do with the rod? Yep, come on. Come on. Kevin? Well, moo to you. Sure. Let's get the air hose. Get that done. Come on, tire. We're probably gonna have to wait a while because we don't have much air in the tank. It might be better to go do something else. Let the air compressor do its thing. Come on, little buddy. Find your happy place. Usually these big tires, like, I don't know, there's like a range of size of tires where they really mount easily, and they usually seat easily. Not to mention this one's sitting in the sun, so it should pop on there pretty good. It did all the way around the back. Now we're gonna let the air out. Oh no, why are you letting the air out? Well, because that tube needs to find its happy place. And if you inflate the tire where it pops up on the bead and then you let the air out, the tube can relax and get all the crinkles out of itself and then be happy where it is. Still letting the air out, still letting the air out. I don't even know if you're still recording, but I'm talking to you anyway. Maybe you can't even see what's happening if you are. I don't know. I guess I could look. I really didn't want to let go of that in case it sucks itself back in, but now you can see. Yeah, well, leak a little bit while I get time I do this, I don't remember if I ever got a new one of these. I'm not sure that I don't know that this one works. I think the one that works is the little one. Yeah, this is the one the co-op gave away for free. It works. They gave it away for free after I spent like $30,000 in supplies. I get this. That's the way it is everywhere though. Ooh, too much. I got a little happy. Sure. We'll call that good. Let's go get the tractor down here, which will give us another excuse to drive it. And then we can work on putting this on. And yeah, we're gonna put this on the side of the mismatched rim so that we can take that one off, get the tire demounted, and then put it on the other new rim. So yeah, I was surprised how many people in that antifreeze video were like, oh, you didn't check this white. How come there was no mention of this white? Well, it wasn't here yet when that was filmed. And the last part of that video was filmed about a half an hour before this showed up. So no, I didn't mention it because it wasn't, but I did check it off camera after it was here, and it was well in the good range. So, you know, that would kind of make sense if it was in Canada a year ago. Probably. It's full of Canadian antifreeze. Now we gotta undo my little, well, that's not working. That did. I need to put that, I got one of those repair kits for these. I need to put that in this one. This handyman jack's getting a little bit not handymanning anymore. Oh, yuck. Listen to that relax. That cab of sadness. Ooh. Ooh. Come on now, that ought to be enough. Shouldn't it not? There we go. Okay, gonna take that with us. I'd like to take this jack with me too, just so it's not laying out here. That will probably end up busting out. The jack will probably end up busting out the only good window that's left. That's right. Let's leave this thinking stool there. Let's get our redneck exhaust cap. It should be fine. It rained, but that wasn't enough to cause any damage. So, but I jammed that rag in there because that's all I had here. Whoa. This cushion, I don't know about that. It makes it very difficult to drive. Let's just see what it's like sitting on the bare metal pan. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Okay, you haven't run in a week or more. Let's see if you'll still come to life. Look at that sweetheart, just comes right to life. Starts charging. Oh, is this actually, that was another thing I wanted to see. Some of these tractors had a 3-speed high and low. I don't think this one does though. Snail. It does. It has a, it's very fine to get into, but it has a 4x3 transmission. So what's that, 12? If I put this down here, that's the high range. So that would be, yeah, high 3. So that's cool. It has a 3 range. We'll have to look in the operator's book and see if that's really true. Plus the fact I just got the operator's book in the mail today. Gotta be careful, we don't want to run over any sheet metal. Let's stop somewhere here on the level. Wouldn't that make sense? What we're gonna do shouldn't take too long, so we should be able to get it back out of the way of the pickup fairly shortly. That is super cool though. I wonder if they all had that or if that was an option. I know I saw it in the parts book, but of the Fiat version, but I wasn't sure if this, I don't know how many whites were equipped that way or what, and I don't know that you could ever find out the answer to that, because I would say that all of that information is probably long gone, you know. That would be my guess. We got to get this cab fixed though, and steps, because I'm going to end up killing myself going in and out of this one time. Or what would really suck is if like this gave away while I was standing on it. I think I would get severely injured. But yeah, that's pretty neat really. That let's look at the operator's book and then we'll lift this up and swap her out. Then we can get this tire off. Operator's manual. Let's see, where would we find transmission information? Breaking in a new tractor. I would assume it would be in the operation section. 1415. Reduction used to shift to high or low range. To shift gears from high or low. Okay. That makes no mention of a 3-speed. But like I said, somebody sent me a copy. Good old John Bender sent me a copy of the Fiat manual. And it made mention that there was a 12 or a 16 speed as an option. So, cylinder control levers. Yeah, I just saw those down low. So I wonder what these ones on the side console are. Are they just other cylinder control levers? Or are they 3-point hitch levers? They are. The upper ones are 3-point hitch levers. The remotes are down at the floor. Pretty bizarre. Also, I realize I've never checked the brakes on it, and I'm pretty sure that the brakes probably need adjusting, because I think he told me that the brakes needed bled. Well, that's all service and troubleshooting. Well, at first blush, there is no mention to having the 12-speed transmission in a 700 white, but perhaps it was an option, and perhaps when they were calling for orders for these, they just pulled Fiats off the line and repainted them and said, there you go. And so this got one. I don't know, but that's interesting because it definitely has 3 ranges, so pretty cool. I should have just got the other jack because this one, it needs so much. I'll get some Zep here in a minute and lube it up real good. And then I'll work on this jack. Stay. Yeah, see, it doesn't like to. Sure. All right, handyman Jack. Meet Zep. That ought to lube you up pretty good. Come on. Oh, you're heavier than I thought. Like my jack handle. It's a pipe wrench. Wheel bearings feel good. So that's one positive here. Oh, we're missing one bolt. And they don't fit on this rim very good, see? So I tell you, friends, sometimes the simplest task is a struggle bus. I got the sockets, I got the impact, but I don't have a battery. So I'm pretty sure I put one on the charger last night. So that is kind of, that would work. Let's see if the next size down is too small, because I'm sure they're metric. No, that's good. 1/16". That's a pretty hardy nut there to take loose for a lug bolt. But let me go get the battery and we'll make this happen. All right, friends. Are you still there? Probably, because I see my stupid face in the camera. What do we do with the socket? I was gonna say, but then I remembered it was still here. Why did you do that, Impact? Look at those big Knutsons. We're gonna take a side trip before we're done here. I guess, no, let's do it now. I know you're thinking, what is with you, ADD? Freddy is what I'm thinking. Freddy has been missing a couple lug bolts, and I have never been able to find the size. I can't, your average hardware store doesn't have stuff that big, and stuff I order, a lot of stuff I order doesn't come out right. So I just, for curiosity's sake, want to see if this is the same size. It's not going to work in it because it's made different. Nope, that's still too small. Freddy needs some tapered things that fit in there. I'm missing 3. One on each front wheel and one on the back. And I believe the back are the same. So I had some bought, I thought, once, and then the guy got in an accident, and then they didn't show up in the package with the other stuff. And then I never got that sorted out again. But if anybody knows where there's a parts one of these, I need 3 lug bolts for a Freddy, a 1450. Well, that was a fun detour down the Sadness Express, but we learned something. They still are not the same. So that's the kind of stuff when you got multiple tractors, you can learn. So if somebody asks me, they are different. Also, I believe that when I looked up parts on the internet, the question was asked on these Fiats whether you had tapered bolts or you had straight cut ones like these. So why is that being so? It's still not wanting to come out of there. All right, goodbye rim of sadness. Let's move you even more out of the way because you're gonna be right in my, uh-oh. That tire's got a couple little places in it, but still, it's worth reusing. It's practically a new tire. Hello, rim of gladness. At least we think it's gladness. It's supposed to fit, but they tell you that kind of stuff a lot. Let's see. Oh no. Well, we've run into our first snafu, friends. And I need to get something where I can sit down at ground level and really assess this. I don't think the bolt holes are the right size. The center hole is the right size. So it's just simply a matter of drilling, but That really sucks the Knudsen, friends. Before I do any drilling, I want to make sure that they're still going to line up when I'm done. Yes, they will all line up. The center hole will fit, but they are not the right size bolt hole. So that leads to the question, and the question is, what size are they? And also, boy, it would have been easier to do this in a drill press, wouldn't it? Than me sitting out here with a gigantic bit trying to drill through them things. Okay. We're not giving up hope because this is a simple problem to address. But we need to measure these, get the appropriate bit, and drill some holes, put it back in, and life should be great. Because I'm telling you, friends, just that simple little thing right there, look how much better that makes that look. Just tons better. So, reaming a few holes is a small price to pay. Let me go gather some stuff, and we'll try to make this happen. Oh, friends, this is one of those times when it could either be crying or it could be rooster sounds. I am having both feelings at the same time. I do not have the technology here to get those holes to that size because of the way that it is. It just seems to me like whenever you already have a hole and you're trying to get it to a bigger size, a drill bit is not the thing for you because it doesn't grab the sides enough. But I know what I need to do. I just need to go to town to get the thing that I need. So I guess I'll do that, but in order to do that, I have to put the tire on so I can get the tractor out of the way, because I just said a minute ago it should be out of the way, because we'll just put this right back on and it's gonna be fine. So I put the old tire back on, at which point I realized that, you know, the last guy, he got pretty slap happy with the cross threading is tight situation, so trying to find holes that were decent was different. And I'm pretty sure that that one there is not going to be, like, that bolt needs to be permanently in that hole whenever I put it back on, because they don't really have matching threads anymore. I think many of the others can be saved, but I tell you, this is one of those times when I wonder why. Why do I mess with these things? But I guess I'll go to town and buy some stuff to make this happen. So I'm not gonna lose my temper. It's probably partially hangry. I mean, while I'm there, I need to probably get something to eat, because that would probably make me not as angry as I am right now. So I guess that's what I'll do. And I won't get anything else done today that I intended to do. I'll just do this, because why should I, you know, get more than one simple task done in a day? There was about 3 things I wanted to accomplish today, and I'm not even going to get one of them done. So that's really nice. All right, friends. You remember when I said, oh, those rims are silver, so that's going to save us so much time? I would much rather have painted rims than to endure what I just went through. But it's going to work now. I got them what they need to be. And the secret, you ask, how? Masonry bits, friend. Because they have carbide tips and they will cut through very slowly. You can go and do it. But the next one is going to be in the drill press, because this was miserable doing it with this hand drill. Apparently, those rims are pretty good quality, because the steel was kind of difficult to cut. Like, that was what I needed to do it. I mean, I could have went through with a burr bit and went around and tried, but I didn't want to. I wanted them to stay round as much as possible and centered as much as possible. And so it was just worth the trip to town to go buy a new bit that had the tip on it that I want, and then it cut through just fine. So the only thing I could have done better is maybe see if a guy could have ordered metric sizes of masonry bits, because, you know, these are metric, basically. Metric size holes. It works out to almost a 3/4 hole. So it'll be interesting to see how those rims hold up over time, but they should be fine. And see, this one, I didn't realize it till after looking. Somebody has drilled these out as well, but this style rim is made out of a more like a tin type of stuff, and that other thing is like plate steel welded into a rim. So I don't know, it's just one of those things that I get myself into that I didn't see coming. And the bad thing about this rim here when they used it is it's got, because it's that stamped steel construction, it has that rolled rib up there, and that was not letting these bolts get all the way down anyway. So that's probably what did that one, you know. That one ain't very good anymore. And so I don't know, it was square in there, so I don't know what the deal is, but other than maybe that was the hole that, one of those holes wasn't in use when I did this a while ago. Whatever. We're just going to remember that the crappy bolt goes in the crappy hole, and we're going to put it that way, and then we're going to just hope for the best, friends, because what kind of thing? I mean, I did not foresee this as a problem, and then here we are, as typical. When you're working with stuff that doesn't hardly exist anywhere else, sometimes you will end up finding unique forms of sadness that other people would not have. Yeah, these start so much nicer now in the holes. The other ones we were working again, this is the bad one. Let's see what happens. It does tighten up though. The other ones, we were working against that lip, and it was even hard to get it started in there because it didn't want to start square, and I don't think they drilled those out just perfectly centered either. I think they just did whatever they could. But that is going to be snazzy, friends. Look at how pretty that is. We'll get us another bolt. I'll look them up and see if they exist. I mean, I might even be able to get them from Agco yet. I don't know, because I'm sure they're the same as a bunch of ones, you know. But let's set this on the ground and step back and admire our work, and then we'll get started on the other side of sadness, but probably not in the video, because you don't need to watch a guy struggle bus it, do you? I don't know. This jack works beautifully since I zipped it. All right. Yes, look at that. Just that simple silver wheel makes this look so much better. I mean, it just looks more loved. So I will get that dismounted. I will get the other rim drilled out to the correct specs now that I know that that's a thing that I have to do. And then this tire and rim will stay as a spare. We'll just roll it to the side. I've got a spare one for the smaller tractors, 1365 on original rim. So it's interesting. But that is like the flat style with just like basically a flat plate was how those Fiats mainly were, except for the earlier ones. Like the 1250A here, it has more of a similar pattern to like these replacement wheels I got, where the center has a dish with the rings, you know, like that rib around there. So I don't know. These are things that most people probably would not care about, but I kind of do. I don't know. I like the way they look when they're the way they're supposed to be, because I grew up looking at the sales literature, and so I want them to be just like what's in my memories, you know, not just paint that rim up silver and ignore it and live life. I want it to be as close as possible to what it is. And at the very least, in this case, it's not going to be exactly, but it's going to be close, and they're going to be matching because I got one for each side, and that's an important thing. So until next time, we're going to leave this one here. I got more stuff coming for this tractor, so we will play with it as time allows, but we got a lot of stuff like that. This is not a priority. That high crop tractor needs to be played with. It's not really a priority right now either, but if I could get this one where I could use it, it would be handy this winter. I actually ordered another one of those hay spears from the Vivor company, and I figured I'd just put one on here and then it would be ready to go with hay spearing or trailer moving, because that thing has a reese hitch made into it, and you can, it's really super handy for picking up trailers. You don't even have to take the spear off, and you can do bumper pull trailers too. So I don't know. I think that would be something that this would shine at least with the little cab. I'm thinking about winter, so we need to figure out our floor situation to get that cab solid, more squared up in the way it's supposed to be, and then figure out if we can hang the doors back on it easily. And then probably think about what we could do for glass so that the millions of shards don't explode one day in our face and make us hideously more attractive than we already are. So yeah, until next time, we're going to leave this one here.